Two infant boys have gotten the herpes virus after they got circumcised. Now authorities, including the health department, are investigating this case. Now, they were circumcised by an Orthodox Jewish family. It was part of their tradition. And part of the problem is after the circumcision took place, they applied something known as direct oral suction. And the reason why they do that is because they are supposed to draw blood from deep inside the wound. Now, apparently the adult who did this had the herpes virus and then transferred it over to the infants. Now, for infants who do get the virus, they could have high fever, seizures, and since 1998, there have been 2 cases of deaths. This is an incredible story, especially because circumcision in and of itself is highly questionable and I think rightfully debated. But to apply oral suction, to have an adult apply oral suction to an infant's newly circumcised penis should be illegal. And maybe that's a really strong statement, but I'm against that 100%.
Okay. Let me double down on that strong statement. Okay. Now, there are some parts of culture that are great. There are some parts of different cultures that suck. Now, that's a controversial statement, especially among liberals, actually. They say, oh, no, all cultures are lovely and wonderful, etc. My ass they are, okay? There's a lot of things we did in the past that conservatives protect at all costs, no matter what your different nationality, ethnicity, etc. might be. No, that's tradition, you protect tradition. Well, what if your tradition sucks? For example, we had a tradition in this country called slavery. That turned out to be a pretty shitty tradition, and it was a good thing we got rid of it. So from time to time, you have traditions in your culture. For example, genital mutilation when it comes to women, when they cut their clitoris off. You know what? That's a pretty crappy tradition. I know people in that culture say, you don't understand my culture. My daughter would have wanted her clitoris cut off. No, she wouldn't, okay? And it's absurdity. I'm not willing to entertain that ridiculous notion.
Yeah, they do that to ensure that the woman never enjoys sex. That's the main purpose. They want to keep her pure. That's why they mutilate the clitoris.
You know, if you really believe that, maybe we should mutilate the part of your penis that you get enjoyment from. You don't need that to have sex. She doesn't need it to have sex. You don't need it to have sex. You can still, you know, give it a go college try. Oh, you don't want it for men. You only want it for women. Huh, that's weird. Okay, so this is why I'm a progressive and not a conservative. Because conservatives say the old way is always the right way and we never want to change, right? Conservatives in this country, in the beginning, didn't want to rise up against the English government. Why? They were loyal English servants, okay? They were servants of the crown, long live the queen and the king at the time. And so they were going to bow their head and go with tradition. Well, our founding fathers decided that tradition sucks. And instead we would have a revolution to get to better traditions, okay? So now in this case, you're really gonna let an old guy put your baby's genitalia in his mouth? I mean, really? No, you don't understand my culture. Well, I guess guilty as charged. I don't. That's a really weird culture that has specific health consequences. I wouldn't let an old man do that to my son under penalty of law. He could be he could be Mahatma Gandhi and I wouldn't allow it, okay? Are you kidding me? Let alone the fact that it is easy to transfer, it doesn't happen all the time, but it clearly happens some of the time, to transfer oral herpes onto genital herpes and then your kid's stuck with that forever. Are you insane?
For the rest of his life, yes.
Are you insane?